This is Channel 2 News, coverage you can count on.
Plenty of snow is falling in the Sierra with rain down here in the lower elevations. How long this weather will stick around as Storm Watch tops Channel 2 News at 5:30. Those howling winds, though, that's the talk of the town. They've backed off a little bit from earlier today, but a high wind warning is still in effect. Good evening. I'm Kristen Remington.
I'm Wendy DeMonte. Thanks for staying with us tonight. Once again, we begin with Storm Watch team coverage. Chief Meteorologist Mike Alger's in the Weather Center with a look at how much rain and snow this system is bringing to us. And Paul Nelson is live along Interstate 80 after speaking with drivers heading over the Sierra. Let's hope not too many people.
That's right. Plus, Ariana Bennett is live in the newsroom with a look at the impact of this storm and what it's doing to California right over the hill. Mike, let's start with you.
Well, it really depends on where you are as to whether you're getting A, wind, B, rain, or C, snow. Right now, I've taken a look. This is a live webcam, or very close to live. It refreshes every 30 seconds. You see heavy snow falling right now at Kingvale. Kingvale's at about 6,100, just over 6,000 foot of elevation on the west side of Donner Summit, going up toward the pass, and they are accumulating snow very, very quickly. The road is still open, but chains are mandatory. Now, I've looked down at Echo Summit, which is 7,000 feet, down across the 7,000 feet down on Highway 50. They're still wet and bare down there, so we're bringing in some of this cold air from the north, and that's going to cause snow levels to drop down from the north, moving to the south. But look at some of the winds today. 147 miles per hour up on Mount Lincoln. That's a mountain right up above Sugar Bowl there. Even here at the airport, the one at the bottom, 71 miles per hour. That is the same speed that we had 5 years ago, which was up to this point the strongest storm in the last 5 years. And we even had some stronger valley gusts. Gardnerville there at 93 miles per hour. That's some of the strongest winds that we've ever recorded in that neck of the woods. So a very, very strong storm in terms of all of that. Let's look and see what's happening with your satellite picture here. Most everything that's going on is slowly moving through. We got a low that's kind of splitting off here a little bit. You got some energy down here with some cold air support, and it's all picked up and riding in on this moisture plume that started off over there out in the tropics, and that is going to give us a gradually cooling trend here with a lot more snow up in the mountains and potentially some pretty good rain overnight tonight if we can overcome that that rain shadow effect. Now, speaking of the rain, snow, and the wind, that has obviously caused some real travel problems for people. We sent Paul Nelson out there onto the freeways and the byways here to check things out. Paul, I notice you're not getting quite as wet as you were before, although you're still a little soggy. How are the travelers getting back and forth on the roads? Are they doing all right?
Yeah, Mike, things are moving along pretty well right now. As you mentioned, the rain has pretty well stopped for the time being, but it's definitely been a very wet trip for people driving over to places like Sacramento or the Bay Area. Now, while it's been raining pretty much all day over here, it's been the snow that's got drivers gripping their steering wheels heading into the mountains.
You gotta be double careful because you're careful, but the other driver, you don't know if they are careful or not.
Driving up to the west, the precipitation quickly turns from rain into snow. Caltrans quickly got their plows out and removed snow from the highway. That was a welcome sight to drivers taking the trip over the Sierra. Some even took a break to have some fun before getting back on the roads. They say they don't care how long the trip takes as long as they make it there safely, and offered their advice to anyone braving the roads.
You gotta be double careful because you're careful, but the other driver, you don't know if they are careful or not.
Now, a few people we talked to actually say that they're excited about this storm. Not only is this snow and rain good for our water supply, but you can bet that the skiers and snowboarders are excited to hit the slopes. Covering Storm Watch Live, Paul Nelson, Channel 2 News.
Yeah, no question. Okay, Paul, thank you. And our neighbors to the west saw their share of this action from the storm as well. Ariana Bennett joins us now live in the newsroom with a closer look. Ari.
Well, communities all across California were hit hard by the first round of this storm. They saw flooding, travel delays, and power outages, and now they're bracing for more. As business owners in Healdsburg, California cleaned up the flooded mess, 2 kayakers made the best of it, paddling through a flooded parking lot. Cars and even bicyclists struggled through several feet of water collected from an overnight storm that caused major flooding around the Bay Area. And tens of thousands of customers near San Francisco were without power. Californians haven't seen conditions like these in 5 years.
I'm sure this is happening all over the city and the county, but it's just a little example of what the storm's doing.
The storm knocked trees into yards, onto homes and power lines, and hundreds of flights were canceled. Some coastal and mountain areas are expected to get as much as 8 inches of rain and see wind gusts as high as 70 miles per hour. Residents in Southern California are loading up on sandbags. They're getting ready for another heavy downpour that could loosen mountainsides scarred by wildfires and trigger mudslides.
Our backyard is the most vulnerable, the back of our house, so we have that all plywood, plastic, sandbags.
Forecasters expect most of California will get soaked with at least 1 to 3 inches of rain. But along with the trouble, that's welcome news to a state that has faced years of crippling drought. And as you can imagine, California is also banking on snow up in the Sierra from this storm. Just like northern Nevadans, they bank on the snowpack to feed their water supply as well. Covering Stormwatch live from the newsroom, Ariana Bennett, Channel 2 News.
Yeah, good points right there. Okay, the windy weather caused major delays and flight cancellations at the Reno-Tahoe International Airport this morning. Southwest, Alaskan Airlines, and United all canceled flights today. Chloe Beardsley was there and talked to some of the passengers who were left behind and some of the lucky ones who made their flights.
Strong winds this morning meant a very empty airport today. By noon, 30 different flights were canceled at the Reno-Tahoe International Airport. 18 of those were Southwest, and there may be more.
We'll probably see more later on today. Anybody coming to the airport today, especially if you're coming from Truckee or from Minden or from Fallon, contact your airline before you come to the airport.
I tried to get in here earlier to see if I can get out of here a little bit quicker, but it's not going to work out.
Daniel Burns is one of the passengers who got stuck. He was supposed to fly out from a business trip to meet family, but those plans were cut short after winds started increasing.
We do have other flights that are leaving, and Southwest chose, maybe to be safe. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Some other passengers got lucky.
We looked up on an app and found American Airlines didn't cancel anything.
I believe that Chicago needs the plane.
Officials say there hasn't been this many cancellations due to weather in years.
It's been about 2 years since we've seen flights canceled like this in Reno-Tahoe.
And when a weather event like this happens, it's up to the airline to decide when planes are able to fly.
They're doing this now preemptively because the only time an airline can make money too is when those aircraft are in the air. So they don't want to get those aircraft trapped on the ground in a bad storm.
I'm from Buffalo, so yes, I travel regularly through major storms, and the airlines do a pretty good job taking care of you.
Covering Stormwatch, Chloe Beardsley, Channel 2 News.
Okay, if you have plans to travel during this storm, check your flight status with your airline. We have a link for that on ours at KTVN.com. And please remember, Channel 2 is your source for Stormwatch continuing coverage when severe weather impacts northern Nevada and the Sierra. You can get the latest Stormwatch coverage on our website, KTVN.com, and our Facebook and Twitter pages as well. You can also dial 511 to get the latest road conditions, or just click the road conditions tab on our website.